second film of Dark Age of the Big G. So basically, if you're watching the movie before, you're probably wondering that this looks a bit familiar to the previous movie, Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. Well, you're right. It has the same crew, from Jun Fukuda to Masaru Sato to Eiji Tsuburaya. Basically almost the same crew. This is also unnoticed, but it's also the first Godzilla movie where there's no signs of civilization at all in the film. You don't see Tokyo, you don't see Osaka, you don't see Yokohama, Kobe, any place in Japan, you don't see it at all. Gotta respect that, because it sets entirely on an island and no one knows if they're gonna live or die. After Godzilla fried Ibara and escaped the island the previous year, he's been roaming around the ocean, so suddenly something attracts him. And he heads toward this abandoned island where these researchers are conducting a weather experiment. And he gets in the way of the experiments, and as he makes his way towards a bunch of giant mantises, Alcanacurus, or giant mantis if you were talking about the English version, and so he makes his way towards them, and you see that they're attacking a dirt mound. So while that's going on, he just shows up in the middle of the blue and just starts whacking them like toys. It's a pretty cool scene. I mean, you just see him slamming one Kamikaze to the ground multiple times, then frying another one with his atomic breath. And the other one flees. Now, as soon as they leave, the egg hatches, or more like busted open by the Kamikaze, and out comes this horrendous crossover between Barney the dinosaur and a pig called Manila. He looks nothing like Godzilla, but then again, even Godzilla looks nothing like himself in this one. Yeah, I know. Pretty good roast myself, but as months go by, he looks less than a crossover. It looks more like Godzilla, but still, he looks horrible. I mean, what were they thinking when they thought of making Godzilla a dad? Instead of making him ferocious and his son a miniature version of him, maybe with a couple cute features here or there, they totally wimped the two out. But I mean, after hitching a ride on the Big G's tail, he starts maturing and stuff, even Godzilla is somewhat less than pleased with his son's progress. Around this time, Godzilla basically leaves the kid to his own devices. So around this time, he befriends a native girl who apparently has been on the island since forever and has known nothing about the outside world for, 27 years or something. And so, surprisingly enough, she can still speak fluent Japanese, which is a big plot hole. But yeah, it's really similar to the love interest that Godzilla had in the previous one. Only this time, Manila sees her just as a friend. At the same time, a reporter shows up trying to get the scoop on this. And the scientist's experiment just failed. So they're stranded on the island with no backup and a snitch that wants to get the scoop. So all they can do is just wait it out and see what happens. Around the same time, however, Godzilla starts teaching Manila how to breathe fire and decides to do some Mexican-style parenting on him. Basically, you either do it or I'll hit you. If there are any Mexican G fans out there, you probably bring back some painful memories, maybe. And I know Jimmy keeps talking to me about that. So Manila tries that, but all he could breathe out is smoke rings, which kind of embarrasses him. And despite Goji trying to teach him again, he still can't do it. In the end, he decides to step on Manila's tail so he could pass it off as a job well done by his son. So they head back to sleep after a long night's work. And so eventually, while Godzilla falls asleep, Manila does not. And he decides to have a little bit of playtime at his own father's expense. So he basically jumps rope, and it wakes him up. He's trying to convince him to go back to sleep. And as soon as he does, he starts playing jump rope with it. However, I think the adult Goji knows what happened. And well, Manila does a little gymnastics stare. His dad kind of pulled a prank on him right there. And he just laughs and then falls back asleep. And while that's happening in the background, massive radioactive outbreak happens with the scientists, and so the reporter and the native girl decide to get some water. At the same time, the Kamakura starts plotting to either kidnap or kill Manila as vengeance against Godzilla or whatever. So while Manila's been straying about, he throws a rock somewhere and awakens a big spider called Kumonga, or Spiga, if you watch the English dub. So he's basically mad because he got disturbed from his sleep and decides to kill Manila and Kamakuris for interfering. At the same time, he does a little stint with humans as well, back at a group of them in a cave, which honestly, this is gotta be one of the best special effects of a Godzilla film I've seen. I mean, no green screen, no stop motion, no anything. Just one big tentacle-like leg trying to grab some people. Awesome to watch, yet cringy at the same time if you have the scenes with Manila trying to break free. After trying and failing, decides to kill Manila, but at the last minute Godzilla shows up. And he and Kumonga kind of get into business pretty quickly. And Manila tries to help out too, but is quickly overwhelmed until he was able to save his father from being strangled to death by webbing. And so, by the time that happens, it starts to snow thanks to the experiment being a success. And with that experiment, they were able to radio for help and get out of the island in time just before a mini ice age came around. At the same time, Godzilla and his son finish off Kumonga together, and they decide to leave for higher, warmer waters, I should say. However, at the same time, Manila tries to catch up, but he can't, as he fears he'll die. In a pretty surprising scene, Godzilla comes back and decides to hug his son so he could live at the cost of his own life. Or so they say. However, they just reveal that they'll just hibernate until the island is warm again, which is undetermined at that point. And so yeah, that's how the film ends. At least. Overall, this film is kind of lacks gaining the quality of the earlier 60s films and is heralding the beginning of what's called the cheesy, cringy Dark Age of Godzilla. The second one so far. So, in my opinion, it's best you skip this one. Unless if you really want to see it, just watch like the first 10 minutes along with the first 3 monster battles and maybe some parenting scenes and the ending. That's about 30 minutes out of the entire 86. The rest you can just skip. But still, there are some scenes I gotta credit for. I mean, for starters, Kamakuris opening his mouth is actually pretty creepy. And Kumonga attacking a cave with his webbing also deserves a special mention for good use of practical effects in that scene. But overall, the movie just one big pile of mess. So yeah. That's about it. Instead of making a truly worthy son of Godzilla, they made an abomination on both father and son. Something that Toho would regret later. But until then, just skip the movie and go straight on to the next one.